Welcome back. I hope you've been having a meaningful and a thoughtful Yom Kippur. I hope you've been enjoying the services and the offerings and the teachings that we have been providing to help you think through your process of teshuvah, repentance. Now, the word teshuvah comes from the root of return. And as we prepare to begin this final service of this Yom Kippur, let me just ask one question to you. Think about where you have been during these past few months. Where have you been spending your time? What would return look like for you? Where would be the place perhaps that you've wanted to go that you haven't been able to return to? Or maybe who is the person that you were before this year started and the person that you would like to return to again? So this day, Yom Kippur, this day is not yet over. I know the fast has been long, but there is still time. And as with our other services, I am joined this evening by Jeremiah Lockwood, along with drummer Darian Gray. On organ, I have Rob Reich and soul singer Terrie Odabi. And what we're going to be doing is 2 services in the next hour, and these services will be amongst the most challenging that we have done yet. We're almost there. But before the gates close, we first want to do the Eila Azkara. That is translated as these I recall. And this service, a hard one, calls upon us on this Yom Kippur day to remember those Jewish martyrs, those who have been tortured, murdered, and humiliated for thousands of years because they were Jewish. And because they believed that what we are doing here today was worth preserving, was worth sacrificing their lives for. Eila Azkara, these I recall, and my soul melts with sorrow. For the bitter course of our history, tears pour from my eyes. Our Eila Azkara service will begin with Jeremiah singing the Ani Ma'amin. The music comes from the Hungarian folk revivalists Musikash, who explore the lost Jewish music of Transylvania. Ani Ma'amin translates as, I believe. And in spite of everything in our world, everything that we have seen this past year, in spite of it all, I still believe in the coming of the Messiah and the coming of our redemption. And even though God may tarry, nevertheless, I wait. According to legend, in the period after the destruction of the Second Temple in the year 70, the Roman emperor decided to put to death 10 of the foremost Jewish scholars. Including among those scholars were the great Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Shmuel, and Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. It is said that Rabbi Shmuel was among the people who knew how to say the divine name and actually go up to heaven. And so after the decree against those 10 scholars was given, he did exactly that. And he asked the question that was on everybody's lips. How can you let this happen, God, to your beloved children? How can you let this happen to those who spend most of their days reading and teaching your words? The answer that he received was that you are not allowed to ask that question. Now, according to this next poem, the Tehillah Rabbi Shmuel, the first two scholars chosen to be executed were Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel and Rabbi Shmuel. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel was beheaded while Rabbi Shmuel wept. And he was saved for a brief time only because the Roman emperor's ruler's daughter coveted Rabbi Shmuel for his physical beauty. However, when she was told that he too would have to be executed, she asked that the skin of his head be flayed while he was still alive, so that she could stuff it and have it to look at. The Tehillah Rabbi Shmuel that Jeremiah will now chant hauntingly tells this story.
Tehillah Rabbi Shmuel עצמו והזכיר את השם בסילודים ולמרום ושוגל ושועל מעז איש לבוש הבהדים ונמלו קבלו עליכם צדיקים וידיעים כי שמעתי מאחורי הפרגוד כי וזוס אתם מלכדים יורד והגיד לחברו יורד והגיד לחברו מה אמר אל בכוח ולא ושניים מהם אז זכרות תחילו שכם גדולי יזרעאל רבי שמואל רבי רבי שמואל כהן גדול. רבי שמואל כהן גדול. רבי שמואל כהן גדול. ורבון שמעון בן גמליאל נשיא ישראל.
Our Eila Ezkara service will close with a Sun House record that Jeremiah had hanging over his bed as a teenager. If ever there was a song to speak to all of you out there right now who are going through so much, who have perhaps put yourself out there in very vulnerable ways to help other people, to stand up for what is right. Perhaps you've suffered some slings and arrows because of it. Well, this song, sung by Terrie, if ever there was a song for you, this is it.
Oh, Lord, don't you mind people grinning in your face? Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Oh, bear this in mind. Good praise are hard to find. Oh, don't you mind people grinning in your face? Oh, don't you mind people grinning in your face? Oh, don't you mind people grinning in your face? Oh, down. Just as sure as your back is turned, you know they try to beat you down. Oh, bear this in mind. Good brain so hard to find. Oh, don't you mind people grinning in your face?
We will now move to the final service of Yom Kippur, the Ne'ilah, the concluding service for the day. Ne'ilah translates as closing. And the image is that the gates of repentance, they're still open, but they're slowly beginning to creak and screech to their close. This is both one of the most haunting and one of the most powerful services of the year, and it's really hard to look around now and imagine doing the service of Ne'ilah without people here filling in this space. It's often one of the most beautiful moments throughout the whole Jewish calendar when we see the community here together in these final few moments of Yom Kippur. Now, Ne'ilah has its own nusach. The word nusach really means the manner or the sound of prayer, and each service sounds differently, and you'll be able to hear this unique melody played throughout the entire Ne'ilah service. The nusach can be heard clearly on this first piece, the Chatzi Kaddish, which has a special arrangement for Ne'ilah, after which Jeremiah is going to follow it with the Avot section of the Amidah. These two pieces both use the same nusach, and Jeremiah put together arrangements based upon two sources. So the Ne'ilah Kaddish that he's going to begin with is an early Kfarten record from 1909 in Vienna. And the Avos that he will sing, he learned from his grandfather. Now, traditionally during the Ne'ilah service, as you might know, everyone stands for the duration of the service. As a sign of respect, as a sign of honor, and as a sign of we're getting close. We have to make it happen now. So if you want to and if you can, I encourage you to maybe stand up, go by a window where you can see the sun setting, and take these last few minutes to ask God for forgiveness as Jeremiah begins with the Chatzi Kaddish.
בחייך וביומך ובחייך דכל בסיסנוה ויגולון ויזמן קוני וימדו ויסלל שבית הקודש אבריחו לילה לא מכל ברכסו ושירוסו תוש בחוסו ונחמוסו דמירוחם בעלמא וימדוחו אמן ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל וזוכר חסדי אבוס ומביא גורל לבני בניהם למען שמו ויעקבו זוכרנו לחיים יום ברוך אתה אדוני מגן עבדו
We now turn to our final chance at a confession. It's the very last vidui that we do on Yom Kippur. As with before, we are invited to beat our chests, kind of like that. Not to hurt ourselves, perhaps we're kind of weak at the moment, but just to acknowledge that even in this state, even having fasted, we still have our body, it's still here. It's this body that has been fasting. It's this body that has sinned. And it's this body that is confessing at this moment. Jeremiah will first chant the transgressions, and the organ will play the response. So if you're at home, you can sing along with the organ in response to Jeremiah. If you have not done this yet, if you have not yet atoned, what are you waiting for? The gates are almost closed. Now is the time of all times here to come clean, to be real. Be real about who you've been for the past year and who you would like to be in the year to come. There is still time to atone. Jeremiah will lead us in the Ashamnu.
Ashamnu bagadnu gazachalnu dibannu tofi ay 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 la 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 Havinom V'hirshanom Zahadnom Hamasnom Tahafalno Sheker Ay 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 la 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 Aya atsnora Kizahavnom Lahatnom Maradnom Niyatnom Sarachalnom Ahavinom Tahashanom Sarachalnom Kishino Oref Ay 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 la 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 Rashanom Shikatnom Tiavanom Dayinom Tihitahanom
We abuse, we betray, we are cruel, we destroy, we embitter, we falsify, we gossip, we hate, we insult, we jeer, we kill, we lie, we mock, we neglect, we oppress, we pervert, we quarrel, we rebel, we steal, we transgress, we are unkind, we are violent, we are wicked, we are extremists, we yearn to do evil, and we are zealous for bad causes. We have turned from your goodly laws and commandments, but it has not profited us. Surely you are in the right with respect with all that comes upon us, for you have acted faithfully, but we have been in the wrong. What can we say to you who sit on high? And what can we tell you who dwell in heaven? For you know all that is hidden, as well as all that is revealed. So we turn now with our gates slowly creaking to close. Jeremiah is going to chant the Psach Lanu Sha'ar, which translates as open the gates for us. Now, this was the opening number for most of the concerts of Jeremiah's band, the Sway Machinery. And he did this in an effort to bring down the spirit of creation that brought our world into being, into his band's music making. His version is based on the Nusach for Ne'ilah that we have been hearing. The cycling of this melody throughout this service is one of the most striking things about the Ne'ilah service. However, each time the arrangement is slightly different, making their similarity feel like an echo.
Shor Bestilas shor Kifanayo Hayom Yifona Hashamash Yifona Slochno Machalno Chamalno Kaperna Adochno Kabushchet Vabo
As we think during these last few moments of Yom Kippur, of all the transgressions, the mistakes that we've made, the ways in which we've missed the mark, I wanted to invite Terrie up here while the gates are still open to sing a song that really expresses how hard it is to be good in this world. In this mean old world, as we approach the conclusion of Yom Kippur, we want to speak of God as a God that is full of mercy and abundant in kindness, and one who hears our tears. These next two pieces that Jeremiah will chant will speak directly to this. The first are the 13 attributes of God, which, as these gates are closing, remind us and remind God that God is merciful and forgiving, extending goodness and love to generations after generations. This piece is going to be followed by the Shomea Kol B'chiyus, which is an important piyut in the Ne'ilah liturgy. Reminds us that the tears that we have shed today, during these past 10 days, during this year, they will be heard by God. And if we've been unable to shed those tears, now is a chance to do so. And now is a chance for them to be heard.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachom V'Chanun, Erech HaPayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emes, Nutzer Chesed Le'alofim, Noseh Avon V'Fesha, V'Chotoho, הצילנו מכל גזרס מכל גזרס וחזרס הצילנו מכל גזרס וחזרס
Now that the gates are just about closed, I hope that over these past 10 days and all throughout this season of repentance, that we have been there for you as Congregation Beth Shalom in some small way to remind you that you are a part of this community and that we care about you. And although we are spread out and socially distancing from each other, we are still one people, one nation, one community. This next piece, Ki Anu Amecha, speaks to that sense of peoplehood, of community. The arrangement is different. It is a new one, written by Jeremiah based on a Chabad Nigun, and will be followed by the Avinu Malkeinu Zachor and the conclusion of Yom Kippur.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Melchoso Le'olam Voed Baruch Shem Kavod Melchoso Le'olam Voed Baruch Shem Kavod Melchoso Le'olam Voed Adonai Hu HaElohim 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 Tzikiya Gedola
Shana Tova. Happy New Year. It's been wonderful spending these high holidays with you. I hope you enjoy your break fast, and I hope to see you all very soon. Happy New Year.